Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Is it full screen?
Nope.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Web3D Consortium's Town Hall. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Anita Havele, and I am the Executive Director of the Web3D Consortium. Thank you all for attending the conference. And most of all, thank you to the planning committee for working so hard to make this a very successful event. This is our annual town hall meeting, and we typically do this during the conference. The conference is sponsored by ACM SIGGRAPH in cooperation with the Web3D Consortium. And we are very instrumental in executing this conference along with our hosts. This is our opportunity every year to outreach to the 3D community and share all the research and technologies happening in that year. This is a time for us to share and learn. It's a good opportunity to connect. And we were hoping this would be a face-to-face conference, but again, we are here in the virtual world, but still the attendance is pretty good. And I'm hoping that during this presentation, you will learn about our organization, our standard, and hopefully towards the end, we can have some open discussions on what our future initiatives should be and how we can all work together. So during this presentation, I was planning to co-present with our President Nicholas Paulus and our other board members, Vince Marchetti and John Coulette, and they will be showcasing some use cases. I will go over the consortium and its standard. I will also discuss the highlights for X3D 4.0 and some of the milestones that we reached in 2020 and 2021. Also some new standards, organization collaboration, so Web3D roadmap. And hopefully after the end of this presentation, you'll learn more about us and will want to engage with us. So when I started working on this presentation, I was like, should we even talk about the metaverse? But I thought it was really important for our community. The metaverse is on all our minds. It's the current hot topic. If done right, this could be a successor to the 2D web that we have now with functional virtual spaces instead of web pages. Now, some of us have seen quite a few metaverses come and go. And if this one has to sustain and be successful, it would be very important to really have this world really realistic and lifelike. And these virtual worlds will have to interoperate with each other and also somewhat indistinguishable from the real world. Now, there's a lot of work to be done to really make this happen. And that's where the 3D community comes in. We have a big role to play, along with the government agencies, industry leaders, standards organization, content creators, and also users. I mean, together we'll have to work to really build an open metaverse. And we at the consortium have been working on open standards for over 20 years. And we hope that we can play a role in this metaverse and provide something that this community needs. So here we are, almost 25 years of building standards and paving the road to collaborative 3D graphics. We have two active standards, X3D and HANM. Our consortium was founded in 1997. It's open, it's an international nonprofit organization, and we develop royalty-free ISO standards for 3D on the web. We are a language, we are a presentation layer, a language to add 3D models, geospatial, imagery, AR, VR, and more into one application. You build once and you use it on multiple platforms. Our members span from government agencies, academia, research institutes, industry, practitioners, gamers, artists. So everyone is free to join. And also our standard is royalty-free for industry to use. So I want to talk a little bit about the standard and what X3D is. It's 3D, it's a scene graph, and it's VR and AR capable. It's interoperable, extensible. Interoperable because it's based on profiles and components. So you can build your application based on your needs. It's extensible because it has multiple nodes, and some of these nodes are domain-based. So you can pick your profile and pick your application for your domain. We have collaboration, we have animation, we have humanoid animation. We have two open source implementations, X3 DOM and Excite. X3D runs on multiple devices, from phones to caves, and is being used in multiple domains. The web is our platform, and we are integrated with HTML5, GLTF, and WebGL. So here's our ecosystem. How does all this work together? So you can bring your 3D models from different authoring tools from different domains, whether it's an OBJ file, a step file, or something from 3ds Max or from MeshLab. You bring it into X3D. You can also inline GLTF, 3D assets. Then you can build your application. X3D is your presentation layer. You can add user interactivity, animation, using time, touch, space sensors, and publish this to the web. You could publish it using the web browser and using our X3 DOM and Excite and publish it to any platform on the web. So your web is our platform. But if your need is a standalone system, you can use our plugin browsers and our open source implementations, and also provide your solutions on standalone systems, because there is a need for that too. So an interactive 3D presentation layers. So while the industry is providing standards at different layers, whether it's hardware accelerators, whether it is lower level graphics language, X3D is a language for web authors. It's XML based. So if you compare it to WebGL, WebGL is for graphics programmers and X3D is for web authors. So if you see, if there are 100,000 graphics programmers, we have 1 million web programmers. So this makes it easy for web programmers to bring data from multiple domains into one interactive 3D web application. So it's easier for 3D to get to the masses when you come to a web author's level versus a graphics programmer. So we have several use cases in different domains, and I will try and go through some of the examples here, and I will do it live from our website. Before we do that, I want to go over the history of our organization. So we started in 1994 with Wormhole. In 1997, Web3D Consortium was formed. And in about 3 years, we developed X3D version 3.0, which was the next version of Wormhole. Wormhole 2.0 became version 3.0. It was XML based. It was the next generation BRML. In the next few years, there were several open source implementations. These were all standalone implementations because the web was not ready for us to provide X3D without a plugin. With WebGL in 2013, 2014, there were several JavaScript implementations, XDOM and Xsite, and here we had an opportunity to provide 3D on the web without any plugins. This was a big game changer. And then in 2016, 2018, all the VR devices started coming into the market, and X3D was providing support for WebVR and also binary streaming with GLTF. And in the last couple of years, we have provided HTML and GLTF integration. We have 3D printing, 3D scanning, WebVR, AR, and this is all part of X3D 4.0. So as you can see, we are optimizing and evolving for current market needs. Again, we are going from evolution to standardization, and then adding all these new technologies to our standard. Excuse me. This is our 26th Web3D conference, and we hope to continue for a few more years. So we are very excited to share with you X3D version 4.0. It's integrated with HTML5. It has 3D printing for models, and this is also very important because X3D provides multicolor printing and also metadata information, which some of the current 3D printing formats do not support. Then we also have web audio. That's an interesting feature that we've added to this version. And inlining GLTF assets. That's very important, and physical-based rendering. So as you can see here, it is a pretty robust release. We have done, this release has a lot of new features compared to the last one. And we have 2 open source implementations that support all these optimized features that we have in version 4.0. It's right now submitted for ISO balance, and it should be ready by next year, Dawn. Again, these are the 2 open source implementations. You can go try them out today. And then we are integrated with HTML5, WebGL, and GLTF. So the reason it's really important for us to converge with since we are the presentation layer and all the other technologies are underlying technologies, it's important for us to track what the other standards associations are doing. At the previous session, somebody said it's so important that we be interoperable. So we have several MOUs with OGC, Kronos, HL7, ISO, W3C, where we work very closely with these organizations. We track their progress. They are also tracking our progress. We mutually meet within each other's working groups. We share information. This really helps us converge all these technologies to really build a cohesive, interoperable platform for 3D. We have we have domain-based working groups, X3D, humanoid, medical, and we have some new working groups. I'll be talking about that in my next slides, but this is a great opportunity for you guys. If you are interested in any of these domains, since our working groups are domain specific, you can be a part of this working group. All our development is done on consensus basis. It's vendor neutral. So there's an opportunity here for you to discuss and share your technology, and really a good opportunity to work with 3D experts. There are a lot of lessons learned here, and information is really shared between our members. So we have recent new collaborations with IEEE body processing organization, and we have worked closely with them, and we are trying to collaborate. And one of the extensions are metadata. Enabling metadata was very important for their community, and their requirements helped us define our metadata functionality. And then we are also working with the healthcare data. And we've had a couple of projects and tests that we are doing, and how to include X3D in their payload. And the healthcare industry is large. It is very, it's closed in some ways. So there is a lot of work here to be done to integrate with the healthcare community and bring 3D to their platforms. And that's one community that is lacking in that area. And I think there is a lot of opportunities for our community to engage with the healthcare standards and see how we can bring 3D into their domain. We have new members here, IBM and 3D. We are hoping they will help us evolve our standard, optimize some of our functionalities based on their business requirements. They come to us with their requirements. We share our lessons learned, and this is a good opportunity for the members and the working group leaders to share information and learn from each other. So these are the two new working groups that we have. And this morning, which was like 3 a.m. for me here, the 3D user experience had a tutorial, which was very, very interesting. And if you have some time, please watch their tutorial. And then this is an area where I think there is a lot of work to be done, especially with the metaverse. User interaction in the 3D world is going to be very important, and we would like you guys to join us and help us, help us work with our user interface experts and evolve and improve our standard. The semantic web work is also, a lot of work is being done in that working group too. I think they had a tutorial this morning or tomorrow, I think. So if you get a chance, please take a look at these tutorials and learn more about our working groups. So we also have a new marketing website. If you go to this website, there are examples. I'm going to try and go here and see what happens. Oh, wow. Oh, it did work. So you see, this is our website, and 3D is running on our website there. So if you go to this website, this is mostly for beginners. If you want to learn about X3D, we have a tutorial here. We have examples, we have resources. Let me go to one of the recent posts and so I just want to show you this. I haven't done any programming for the last 15 years. And I was able to write this little code here with some help from Vince to be able to add this 3D model into my blog here. So as you can see, this is X3D for web authors, not that difficult, and it's possible. You could probably do this in a couple of days, or less in some cases. So I think I'm back here. Okay, we had several webinars. So you can go to our webinar link here and learn about X3D browsers, X3D tools. This is a great opportunity for you to learn about this open source technology.
Anita, I'm sorry, Anita, could I interrupt, please?
Sure.
This is exciting, what you're showing us. However, your audio keeps jumping in and out, and I was having great trouble hearing your last segment here.
You guys all having problems with the sound?
Correct. Your audio is hard to hear.
Is that true for everybody?
Vince, are you experiencing that too?
Keep your head closer to the microphone, so don't move too far away from the microphone.
No, I'm pretty close to the microphone, but can you guys hear me?
I can, yes.
Okay, good, thank you. So I'll move on to the next slide. This is also another example. I just didn't want this to crash when I'm going from one program to another, but it seems to be working, and I don't know why my virus is not happy about this. So here's our homepage, and if you go to our homepage and you scan this, scroll through these images, you can go to different use cases here. And I'm going to try and go to a use case which I think will interest all of us. Probably not find it right away. Yeah, this one here. So this is a large streaming oil rig model, okay? I think over 2 million polygons. Let me just launch this and you'll see how fast it's loading here in my web browser. Hopefully, yes, not bad. Considering we have quite a few people here sharing video, and so it's loading this model. I mean, this model was built using 3D assets from different domains. And as you'll see, as it loads this model, there is animation here, there's user interaction here, there's also HTML. So you can see I am moving this model here. You can see the animation here with the helicopter. And then you see the waves moving. And with HTML, I can move the sun's position. So here I have this application that is really using, that's inlining and streaming large 3D models. It's using HTML, it has interactivity, it has animation, and it's pretty robust. So this is an example of what X3D can do. So some of you, if you're new to this technology, please go to our website. There are webinars, there are pages on how to model, how to use X3D, and please try and do that. So let me just close this. I hope I don't lose. I think I'm done with my demos. So I'm just going to go quickly through my slides and talk about a little bit about our working groups, and some of our working group chairs are here. If you guys want to just jump in and say something, Dawn, you may want to say as you are the chair of the X3D working group. Did you hear me, Dawn? Hello?
Seems like your volume is variable to me.
I can hear you guys really well. I don't know if it's your network, Dawn, or it's everybody's network. I hope you guys are not having this, not everyone is having this problem. Vince, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I think we should continue.
Okay. So, John, it must be your network then if everybody else can hear me. So we have Vince here, who's the chair of the Design and Printing Working Group. Vince, if you want to say something for a minute or so.
Okay, well, just one of the activities of the Design and Printing Working Group is to liaison or have a liaison relationship with SC4, which is the ISO committee devoted to manufacturing, or I should say product data. So in the fields of manufacturing and computer-aided design, one of the things we are working on is a document, a consensus kind of standards-based document on the requirements and needs for visualization of computer-aided design. Many of you are aware that it's really been an immense explosion in the technology for 3D computer-aided design applications, both in the capability of the sort of the high-end systems, the kind of things used by your large aerospace companies, but maybe more significantly, we're seeing capability that was once, again, this sort of high-end, very expensive, being moved down or moved over to being implemented in the web browser. There's a well-known company, OnShape, out of Cambridge, Massachusetts, was offered a very full-featured computer-aided design program. This is bringing 3D design to many more commercial enterprises. And we really have to update what we think visualization, that is seeing the product among a broad audience, means. And I believe Christophe Mouton is joining us. He is leading a group on preparing that document. And Web3D as the public standard format for visualization, we really want to be a part of that effort in bringing together people from across the computer-aided design world to, again, in a standards-based way or in an open way, come up with ideas, making visualization interoperable among several domains. And that's one of the advantages. As a member of ISO, the consortium does have that standing to participate in those kind of activities alongside your large aerospace and automobile and manufacturing enterprises.
We also have Mike McCann here, who is the chair of the Geospatial Working Group. I don't know if he's one of the panelists, Marco.
I'm trying to promote him, but he should accept the promotion.
Mike, can you accept the promotion?
I activated this microphone, so he can already speak. But, okay, he's arriving.
Oh, I guess we'll move on if Mike is not joining us.
Oh, hello?
Hello there, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, so the Geospatial Working Group, it is still in existence, but in kind of a holding pattern right now. And but there's really lots of interesting issues to work with in geospatial data, as Cameron so ably demonstrated in his presentation. The challenge is just to kind of standardize a lot of these client server needs for level of detail management and those sorts of use cases. So really looking forward for more participation in the standards development in that client server world. And I'm optimistic that we'll get there and have many implementations to choose from for customers that have their own server side resources and they want to use all the richness of X3D to visualize their data. That's kind of all I have to say about that effort.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike. So I'm
Sure.
going to go to the next slide here. So here are some highlights from 2020 and 2021. Our members, NIH and NPS, are providing helpful 3D printing resources during this crisis. Then we were working diligently on X3D version 4.0, and then we had a couple of speaking engagements in late 2019 before the pandemic started. So we are continuing to engage with different communities to promote our standard, to converge with other standards, and to learn about their requirements too. So 2021 events, these are some of the 2020 and 2021 events. So we try and we always go to SIGGRAPH, and then we have the Web3D conference, and our members go to other conferences, and that's how we try to outreach and engage with the different domains within the 3D world. Webinars, of course, we call ourselves as a presentation layer. We are above WebGL, we inline X3 GLTF, and here you bring assets from different 3D sources and build your application. So our standardization process is pretty straightforward. Our working groups work with the X3D working group, and then we go to ISO for ratification while working with other standards bodies. And when our standards are ready, our members get early access, then it goes to the government, the community, industry, and finally adoption. We have several Sdo partnerships going on. Our biggest one with this ISO, since our standard is ISO ratified. We work with SC24, working group 6, X3D, and then we also are working on the mixed augmented reality reference model. We work with OGC, CityGML, and other 3D cross technologies where we can converge, and they need our technology, we need theirs. We work with W3C, of course, Chronos, WebGL, GLTF, IEEE, 3DBP, and HL7. So as you see that we are not just in our own bubble developing our own standards, we try and see what the industry trends are and work together to evolve and promote our standard. There are several benefits to the Web3D members. There are many market opportunities, business opportunities. Again, you can drive the standards, you can lead the working groups, you get early access, you can be on the board. There are networking opportunities like this conference, and many other. We have other opportunities where you can meet with our members and other industry leaders. So we do have a talent bank where we have experts and who you can share your knowledge, and they share their knowledge with you. So it's a pretty, it's a community that is very open, willing to help. And I've been with them for a few years, and I can tell you that when there's a problem and somebody calls me and says, hey, Anita, I'm having this issue, who do you think I should talk to? I call one of my members and they're ready to help. So join us and help us build this standard together. So there are many resources here for you guys to learn about X3D. And these are all on the website. I will be sharing this presentation. And Marco, if my audio was bad, I will re-record this presentation and send it to you. This is the roadmap. And I was hoping Nicholas would talk to this slide set. but here's something I think we would like to share with you guys. These are some of the milestones for 2020, 2021, and we also have some initiatives that we hope to accomplish in 2022 and 2023. So for one of the things we're working on is the VR, AR, MAR initiative, which is going to be part of X3D 4.0, 4.1. We are really looking for members who are interested in working with us in this domain. I know with the Metaverse, this is going to be very important for us. We do have WebXR support. We are working on we do have Web VR support. We are working on WebXR support. So we will be supporting the web technologies, but within our standard also there is some work to be done. And we are looking for partners to help us evolve and optimize our standard. We have several new marketing initiatives, a new marketing website, educational webinars, blogs. We'll continue our webinars in 2020 and 2021 and 2022. We plan to start continue our hackathons next year if travel is permissible, and continue working with the standards development organizations. So the discussions that I would like, and we have our leaders here today also, is how can we improve our support to the 3D community? That is a question to you. And what is the single biggest problem you face with the making or publishing 3D? How hard it has been to solve this problem? I just put some questions out there so we can start thinking about these things and hopefully not have answers, but have a discussion on how to solve these problems. So if you guys want to continue with this discussion, we can stop here and take some questions. All the Web3D members, please feel free to answer. I am looking at the chat here. Marco, do you have any from the Huwa platform?
Don't think so. Okay.
Oh, nobody has any questions? So please join Web3D and participate if you have.
Is everybody out there? Is everything?
Yes, Don, we are doing okay.
Yeah, Anita, if I'm coming through, I have a question.
You're breaking up, Don.
Anita,
Maybe
your presentation was fantastic. I was able to hear most of it. Is there anything you wanted me to share with the community regarding IVN at this point, or
yes,
or not?
Yes, if you would like to, yes.
Okay, perhaps against my my nature. My name is Bill Benman. I'm the CEO of Integrated Virtual Networks, IVN. We've been working for many years to bring live streaming avatars to virtual worlds. We have the technology, it's patented, it's working. We are looking to launch soon. We're looking to work with the consortium to support multiple platforms, multiple technologies. I commend the consortium for all the good work you've done to this point, as laid out so well by Anita in her presentation. But Anita, Don, Mike, Vincent, and others have done fantastic work on our behalf. And I think, someday that's going to be recognized on a large scale. From our perspective, the consortium will be very instrumental in helping us to provide a solution. Initially, we were planning to build our own metaverse and just offer our live streaming technology within our own metaverse called the Nexus. But it occurs to us that it might be useful to make that technology available to others. But in the main, what our technology does is it allows you to have the experience of a Zoom call inside a virtual world, such that you can, through your navigation, through your position, through your line of sight, you'll be able to interact in an impromptu way with other people in the environment as though you were physically present in that environment. Most recently, we also received allowance of our patent application on our technology for enabling you to do that in augmented reality as well, such that with an appropriate pair of glasses, Apple Glass or whatever, you'll be able to see someone in your actual environment as if they were physically present. And they will be able to navigate around within your environment as well, your real world environment, which I think is pretty interesting. So that's what we're looking to bring to the table. We're hoping to launch next year. We are in discussions with a number of major players that have expressed interest in having access to our technology for their purposes as well. And fingers crossed, we'll be able to do that. But through the consortium, if you want more information about what we're doing, we'd be happy to answer any questions. And I'm available here and now to answer any questions that any of you may have regarding our technology called Silhouette.
Do you want to put the link there?
Very quiet room. Not seeing any questions on chat, so I think we're good.
Yep.
I should also point out that we are hiring developers. So if you have expertise in X3D and some of the other technologies, let us know.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you. Bill just joined the consortium recently, and he's looking forward to using open standards for his solutions, which is very important for us, especially when the metaverse.
Are you still muted, Anita?
I'm muted?
Nope. You're loud and clear.
Can anybody hear Anita?
Yes, we can.
So is it you guys in California that's having this problem, Bill and Don? I heard there's there's some weather issues there. I hear that everyone can hear me, which is good. So we'll go to the next part of the presentation where we'll have Vince, if you can start.
Okay. Anita, I would ask, out of respect for the other, we are starting to impinge into the wonderful social hour or social event, I believe. And I think we should ask the organizers what they wish us to do at this time.
How long is your presentation? 5 minutes?
Okay, Anita, I will ask the organizers what they wish us to do at this time.
Go on a few minutes, and well, I think we can have like 7:15, 7:20 is fine for us. Please go on.
Okay, well, I just have a fairly quick demonstration. And I need to share my screen. That's correct.
And I'll stop sharing.
Yes. Okay, I believe I'm sharing a screen that's showing two heads. Could someone confirm that I'm sharing the correct screen, please?
Yep.
Oh, thank you. Okay, this is a little project I did after viewing an article, a journal article in Nature magazine. It was an anthropology article, and they were discussing some efforts in understanding human evolution based on scans and processing of human skull remains. This is one of the case studies visible on the Web3D.org website. So you can follow that link to get there. And in fact, I think I can put the actual link to the web page in our chat window right now. And one of the, and in the growing trend, they actually did publish their 3D scan data not as a digital supplement. So I was able to get their 3D scan data. It was in the PLY format. And what I was interested in doing was in a 3D visualization, that is a computer environment, reproduce something that I believe anatomists do. That is, people who are experienced in studying anatomy. They will take two similar specimens and compare them, you know, holding them in their hand and turning them around and just do comparisons in real time with the real object, because the human eye and human brain is actually much better at detecting differences than any algorithm you can implement numerically. So I was able to turn those scan data into X3D models. And in order to reproduce that idea of holding it in your hand, but looking at both of them at the same time, I was able to develop a navigation method where by dragging one skull, you drag the other skull in the same way. So, for example, by taking the two scans and holding them that way, you can see that there is a distinct difference in the profile of the skulls. And you know, the anatomists have a very specific name for this kind of profile, the side and the difference there. Similarly, differences in the shape in the eye sockets and in the jaw. I am not an anatomist myself, so I refer you to the article to discuss the implications of their work. The point that I want to make is having X3D as an open standard in which the behavior of the navigation is very well documented and is extensible. And that's the important part, is that I was able to extend it with this feature of when you drag one object, the other object drags the same way. And I was able to do this completely in the framework of existing X3D standard. It was as if I had to create some extra plugin that I had to distribute as Java code. This file that this is distributed in is a standard X3D file, again, operable on any X3D viewer. And so I would hope that exposes the power of this open standard. And just as a final thought, I was listening to the paper session this morning, and Dr. Polis also discussed the navigation behavior, some changes they made to aid virtual field trips. So again, this is the idea that having an open extensible standard is important for continuous or continued development of this visualization. So Anita, with that, I'll answer questions or turn it back to you.
Let's wait for a few questions, and then John is our next presenter. Is John here as a panelist?
Yes, John's here.
Okay.
So I don't think I can do much to add to what Vincent obviously touched on, and as well as some discussions. Inherently, in order due to time constraints, inherently the challenges that we're all facing is that how we bring extensible, working it to provide data in a way that has value to a broad audience. And that's seen here that you're looking at. What we've ended up doing is we try to take this and push it out to some boundaries. You're looking at 4.4 million acres of digital elevation model for American Samoa. In this case, we didn't use a lot of disparate data sets. There are other examples that have been presented in the conference where you could see that we ended up pulling together data from as many as 19 different disparate data sources. But the challenge that we're trying to deal with is dealing with some of the issues that Mike touched on earlier with regards to standards. How do we end up improving, maintaining geospatial accuracy when we're starting to push to these type of large models that inherently are really starting to really push some of the boundaries. And where we're finding is, as Vince indicated, is whether it's working with skulls or working with these large data sets, we're finding that X3D is robust enough to really assist us in addressing a variety of different issues. And I'm going to go ahead and end there. Okay, Anita?
Oh, that was quick. So thank you both of you for showing your use cases. That's what we do usually during a town hall meeting is we ask our members if anyone would like to come and show their use cases. And here you saw two very important use cases, one from the medical domain and one from the geospatial domain. So as you can see, X3D is being used to solve serious problems. So, we call it 3D for the serious domain. So, if you have some time, take a look at our technology, come and join us. Some of our working groups are open. Just send me an email if you'd like to discuss or if you just want to watch. Give me a call, send me an email, join our working groups, come to our conferences, and get in touch with us anytime.
Anita, yes. Do we have another minute left for Christophe and the nuclear domain? That seems very important.
Yes.
Yes. So thank you very much. I'm very sorry. I've prepared the last hour of my presentation, so that's why. It's the last minute.
Christophe didn't get back to me. Go ahead. I didn't know you were the list of presenters.
So I will be very quick because, as you know, it's something that I'm very focused for this last decade. So very briefly, it's how we try to open all our 3D data sets for nuclear power plant engineering. So I will very quickly enter the domain. So my company is a national French power utility, and we are operating 56 nuclear reactors in France. And something that I will quickly just share with you is the French President Emmanuel Macron has announced that France will restart the construction of new nuclear reactors to respect COP26 objectives about decarbonized energy. So it's a huge news for my company to know that France will build new nuclear reactors in the next decade. So the challenge, it's more or less what we discussed in 2012. So it's not a new challenge, but it's a huge one. So we discussed that with David Kazik from Bosing. It was our keynote speaker at this time, and he was dealing with billions of data and how the digital mockup and now the digital twin could deal with all this data in 1D, 2D, and even in 3D. So he mentioned the Rosetta Stone for all this data. So it was very inspiring for me because when we were dealing with engineering data and documents for nuclear power plants, you can imagine that we are reaching the millions of different data and documents. And I won't say it's difficult, it's something very tricky to manage. It's the tricky aspect, the complexity to manage. So what we discovered is that we have our kind of Rosetta Stone. So in fact, all our equipment have a code name, and this code name could help to link all the information together to be able to propose new interface to our engineers. So Rosetta Stone or digital twin, yes, I let you choose the right term. So how we deal with that? In fact, our first challenge was how to get the first obstacle, which was the proprietary format of our CAD system. So our first work was to move to an open standard, and we chose X3D at this time. As you can see here, we are using X3DOM, the polyfill, to display this small room, I would say, with a few equipment. The second challenge was how we scale, because here you have the French new nuclear reactors that we are finishing here in France, and the small dot, the small yellow dot, in fact, it's representing this small room. So in fact, we have to scale by at minimum 200, and it's really a massive digital mockup. So we started to study with some Web3D Consortium partners. So here it's Fraunhofer and Hochschule Fulda. We started to how to manage our data, how to describe them with X3D so that we can display them in X3DOM. So it was our first work in 2014. We continue in 2015 with Instant 3D Hub, a new product by the Fraunhofer IDD Institute in Germany. And I will say we reached in 2016 very, very interesting results. We were able to use a web portal which linked all our data, and especially thanks to the technology from Fraunhofer, but also to a graph database that helps us to index all our data. So now, what is the current state of our work here at EDF? So now we have an in-house solution using commercial Web3D visualization as a service solution. So you recognize more or less the previous figure, but it's powered by a new company. So 3D, it's a company that was founded by some researcher from Fraunhofer IDD Institute. So they joined the Web3D Consortium very recently. So it's very nice to have them on board. And something that I would like to share is that you can use this in-house solution with this visualization as a service solution from 3D for a lot of engineering use cases. So forgive me to not sharing all our know-how on that topic, but yes, it's very, very impressive. And even for trade show. So what is very impressive is that we can use this kind of solution on the booth at EDF, the booth that EDF will presented in the World Nuclear Exhibition in Paris end of November. So if you're coming to Paris and if you're a specialist in nuclear, I think you will visit this booth. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris. As you can see, this is a very important use case for us, Fraunhofer has been very instrumental in providing this solution to EDF. And we thank you, Christophe, for showcasing this use case. As I said earlier, X3D is being used to solve serious enterprise problems for serious enterprise visualization. So, if you please join us, help us evolve, optimize this technology for the next generation 3D web. So we have one last thing before we take off, Marco. Every year we present an award. We are
running quite late.
2 minutes. Can you bring Michaelis in? Michaelis, as a panelist.
I'm not sure. Oh, hello, does it work? Hello.
Hi, Michaelis.
Hi, hello, can you hear me?
So, Don, can you hear us, Don?
Wait.
So typically we, award this, we give this award in person, Michaelis, but since we are doing this virtually, I thought we would do this virtually and present you this award in recognition of your outstanding contribution to the X3D standards. We appreciate all your hard work towards X3D 4.0. And as I mentioned, because he's a member of a consortium, he can now join the Chronos working group for GLTF because we have membership sharing. So he is a liaison between Chronos and Web3D. So there is information being shared between both organizations. And Michaelis has been very, how should I say? He's very thorough about, whose functionality works and whose doesn't. And he's not shy about it. So he comes back and says, this is what that needs to be changed in X3D if we need to work with GLTF. So that has been very helpful for us, Michaelis, and continue this, this excellent work that you're doing. Do you want to say something about your product, View 3D Scene and Castle Engine? Just a couple of lines.
Okay, just I guess a very quick. First of all, thank you very much. I'm very sorry. I'm kind of from my phone, so I'm not on my desktop. I wasn't prepared, but thank you very much. This sounds. I'm surprised. Thank you very much, really. About basically my product, what I'm doing is Castle Game Engine and View 3D Scene, which is kind of it was a game engine, a game engine that you have editor for, and our strong focus is to use open standards for our models, which means X3D and GLTF. We're kind of playing both hands. I mean, I kind of believe in both of these formats right now. Both X3D and GLTF have a lot of strengths, and they can be kind of connected in a way, which is actually what we already did in X3D version 4. And I guess you were talking about it already on this conference a lot. So yeah, so it's a game engine that wants to support open formats with a special focus on X3D and GLTF, and I'm enjoying it because it means that I kind of want to have a perfect support for both of these formats. And yeah, I'm not prepared to do any actual presentation. Just Google Castle Game Engine if anyone wants. But I hope it works nicely. And thank you very much for your recognition. This sounds great. It was great. Thank you.
You can put the link in the chat.
I will, yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Marco, and sorry for taking extra time here. And we will join the social event now.